Hey guys, I'm Nick and welcome back to the channel. Or if you happen to be new here, please don't forget to smash that subscribe button to stay up to date with all of the latest Star Trek news on YouTube. Today I'm talking about episode 10 of Star Trek Discovery Season 3, Terra Firma Part 2. And we've got a whole bunch of new promo photos that CBS has released showcasing what we might have in store for us for this next upcoming episode of Discovery. So we're going to take a look through all of those photos and see if we can learn anything new about this upcoming episode. So for starters, the synopsis for this episode reads as follows. Georgiou uncovers the true depths of the plot against her, leading her to a revelation about how deeply her time on the USS Discovery truly changed her. Okay, so starting with our first photo here, we have a shot of Georgiou and Saru in what looks like some kind of bar or nightclub or like a piano lounge. It's a very casual sort of setting, far more of a casual setting than we've perhaps come to expect from the Terran Empire. You'd think they would, any kind of recreation area they had would be full of, you know, torture equipment or some sort of death machines or something. They're all so aggressive and everything. So this piano bar, piano lounge with couches and chairs and a bar, and Saru's got a beverage of some kind that he's bringing to Georgiou in this scene. It seems somewhat more relaxed than what we're used to for the Terran Empire. So it's good to see that the Terran Empire has got maybe a softer side where they just can in fact relax and not be hell-bent on destruction and murder all the time. In our next photo, we've got in this same location, so we've got couches and a table there in the background, and we've got Georgiou standing in front of Burnham. Now, Burnham isn't wearing her usual gold paraphernalia and everything, so it would seem that she's been stripped of all of her rank and stripped of all of her, I don't know, medals and all that sort of stuff and military regalia, and she's just in kind of just regular clothes. In fact, her clothes in this shot look very similar to Adira's costume, which is sort of like just a bland blank slate kind of crewman, not part of Starfleet, not part of any kind of military organisation, just a crewman kind of thing. These shots with Burnham and Georgiou, she's probably been thrown in the agonizer booth, she's been tortured, and maybe Georgiou's sort of taking her aside to try to change her opinion about how the Terran Empire should be run. Georgiou's trying to win her over and convince her that things should be maybe tackled a little bit differently. And this little scene here with them sitting at a table, they've got their couple of bottles of wine, food on the table there, maybe some fruit. In this shot, we've actually got Burnham in her full-on Terran Empire costume. So it seemed like this shot and the last shot do connect up in terms of the location. However, Burnham's costume is completely different. So I'm not sure whether this is before or after. Maybe this is perhaps after, I'm guessing, if in the beginning of the episode we've got Burnham being tortured and we've got her thrown in the agonizer booth, and then in this shot we've got Georgiou having a meal with her. Maybe at the start she hasn't got her uniform on, but maybe Georgiou gives her uniform back in an attempt to try to win her over, convince her that, you know, in order for her to not have her molecules ripped apart, she needs to change the Terran Empire so that it isn't quite as extremely different to the Prime Universe. Trying to tell Burnham about her history and her backstory in the Prime Universe and how things are operated there. Shot of Philippa Georgiou here, with looking a little bit younger, I think, than usual, or whether they've just sort of styled her hair differently and it's all nice and smooth and not, wavy or whatever, perhaps like it normally is. Obviously, Georgiou is contemplating something deep in thought here in this shot. From what the synopsis reads in this episode, it would seem like the effect that the Prime Universe has had on Georgiou is maybe greater than what she initially thought it was, and she's maybe coming to realise that in these flashback sequences. Got a shot now of Detmer and Burnham and Bryce having a bit of a chat. It looks like at Bryce's station at the back of the bridge. We've got a Terran Empire logo on the screen in the background, but Burnham is in her uniform again now, so Whatever occurs with the whole brig scene and the torturing business, it would seem that she's maybe become part of the crew again, but maybe demoted. Who knows? There's obviously a bit of a makeup session to be had somewhere along the lines there. Tilly, or Captain Killy, as she's nicknamed in the Terran Empire, in the captain's chair on Discovery, we've got a whole bunch of armed guards with phasers, and Burnham there behind a Georgiou with Owo in the background as head of Georgiou's security detail. It's good to see Tilly in a bit of a different guise or whatever in these Terran Empire flashbacks. I'm sure all the actors probably love getting their evil on for these mirror universe episodes. This looks like a closer up shot from our previous scene. We've still got all our armed guards in the background there with Burnham and Georgiou. Interestingly, Burnham is armed in this episode. She's got her knives and everything in her knife belt there on her costume. Whatever grievances that Burnham and Georgiou have had in this episode, trying to kill each other or agonize Burnham in the torture booth and all that sort of stuff, it kind of seems like those differences have been put aside for this part of the episode, with Burnham restored to some form of rank. Maybe she doesn't have the same position that she did have, but it would appear she's not trying to murder Georgiou in every opportunity she gets, although maybe that's why all the armed guards are in the background with phasers. Close-up shot of Emperor Georgiou. Looks like the same scene. We've got the same guards in the background there again with phasers, just a closer shot of what we previously saw. And a shot of Burnham in her uniform. She's got all of her military regalia and everything on her again. So, yeah, it'll be interesting to see how she gets returned to some form of rank. Whether she's still trying to murder Georgiou at any opportunity she gets, I'm not sure. But it would seem like maybe Georgiou has kind of restored her position, but just has a bunch of armed guards follow her around every where she goes, just to make sure that she's not trying to stab Georgiou in the back at every second. Nice shot of Captain Killy here. Nice to see the actors stretching their legs to get a little bit more of a change in their characters and so forth for these Mirror Universe episodes. The costuming in the Terran Empire is really well done, I think. A nice difference to the Prime Universe, and there's a lot of detailed work in the costuming. And another shot of Captain Killy, Tilly, in the captain's chair. She's got a little bit of a Riker lean thing going on, I think. She's been taking a bit of a page out of Riker's book, I think, and giving it that lean to one side, as we know that Riker loves to do in the captain's chair. And we've got a shot of Burnham here in the agonizer booth that we've seen before in not only the first season of Discovery, but also it originated, I think, back in the Enterprise Mirror Darkly episodes, where I think Phlox and Malcolm Reed had developed the agonizer booth. Good to see a bit of continuity with that piece of technology. And there are our promo photos for this episode. What interests me most about this episode is, are we going to get some more information about Carl? There's been some theories floating about as to whether is Carl a Q, as his involvement with Georgiou in some way mirrors the Tapestry episode of Next Generation, where Q sent Picard back to an earlier part in time for him, but he still retained memories of his present day, and he was able to kind of change his future and so forth. So there were certain parallels there. Also, the amount of kind of whimsy and playfulness with Carl's dialogue did somewhat resemble the personality of a Q. But then again, we had Carl reading the Star Dispatch, which is a newspaper that we saw in The Guardian of Forever, in original series, with Kirk and Spock and so forth in that episode. So there's almost as much information to speculate that Carl is a Q as much as there is to speculate that Carl is a Guardian of Forever. We never saw a Guardian of Forever in the original series. They weren't. They didn't take human form or anything like that. It was just a portal. So we've got nothing to go on there. And of course, in previous episodes of Voyager and Next Generation, the Q Continuum has certainly illustrated their points or got their point across through old-time newspaper clippings and so forth. There have certainly been newspaper articles and so forth that have been used by the Q to illustrate their points, but we've also seen newspapers used in specifically the Star Dispatch to illustrate the point of view of the Guardian of Forever in original series. So, yeah, at the end of the video, let me know what you think. Is Carl going to turn out to be a Q? Is he going to turn out to be the Guardian? Or something completely different? Who knows? I'm sure that the Star Trek universe is full of omnipotent beings that just like to mess with people's timelines and whatnot. Are you guys looking forward to episode 10 of Discovery, the second part of the Mirror Universe episode? I'm hoping that we get a really good resolution to Georgiou's affliction, that is solved by whatever her actions are in the Mirror Universe, and I'm really hoping that we get a bit more of a clarification as to what Carl's origins are. Let me know what you guys think. Guys, as always, please don't forget to like, to comment, share, subscribe, check out my merchandise page where you can pick up great Star Trek themed t-shirts like this one, and also click on the join button if you want to delve a bit deeper into the Sci-Finatics YouTube channel, get some cool avatars and emojis to use during chats and live streams, and a few members only videos there. I'll see you guys in a couple of days time for the review of episode 10, Terra Firma part 2, and I'll see you guys then for that video.